Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering the woke boycotts. Bud Light is getting absolutely roasted and destroyed on Twitter just because they placed a new ad. The ad is basically, it's fine. It just shows some people, regular people, not people jumping out of their bathtubs with their face on beer cans. Just regular all-American people having different fun summertime moments. There's nothing wrong with an ad like this unless you're Bud Light in 2023. In advertising and marketing, you really have to meet the customer where they are. And you can't just ignore that you just did this brand-defining change with Dylan Mulvaney. There are ways of addressing it. I've talked about it sometimes on my videos before. I'm surprised they don't just go ahead and come up with a marketing plan that would get people where they're at, maybe make a little fun of themselves, and draw some positive buzz to the brand. The buzz that they've drawn from this ad on Twitter is not the kind of buzz that you want. And we have to go into it because it's absolutely hilarious. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys. I am trying to get to 25,000 subscribers. So if you can subscribe, please do subscribe. Thank you. So normally I'm on Twitter and I'm putting out my videos and I'm putting the @ sign and adding Bud Light on what I'm putting out. But this ad popped up in my feed, I guess because I do a lot with Bud Light. And I watched it and I was like, okay, well, you know, it's not a terrible ad. It's looks like it's fun people like having a good time, and it's regular people, not anything exceptional. And just to show you what some of it looks like, you know, people just kind of enjoying Bud Light, and it's hot and it's summertime, and these are just things that happen, and Bud Light's now going to be part of your life. The problem, of course, is none of this touches on or deals with Dylan Mulvaney at all. So what kind of response do they get to this ad? Well, that's where things get a little bit crazy. They did get a lot of responses. It's not the kind of responses they were probably looking for. Twitter has a feature on it. One from D-Day Cobra. There's a really funny one from Babylon B. Man caught drinking Bud Light insists he's not gay. And then there's, you know, a bunch of other responses of people saying, no, 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 I'm not interested. Some repeat ones. This one I thought was pretty funny. Day 6 of Girlhood, sponsored by Bud Light. So you see there are a lot of responses that are like, no, you know what? I'm not going to enjoy my summer with you guys. A lot of teasing and negative responses. But Twitter also has this other feature. For the more aggressive responses or the more negative or more mature responses, they have hidden responses. So the hidden responses are in hidden replies. Here's the hidden replies. Now, I will say this because I was talking about it when the video first started. There are things you could do. So one of the things they could do is they could reenact the Dylan Mulvaney commercial, but do it with a woman you would more typically expect to see in a Bud Light commercial. That could be done. In fact, that should be done. They should do a couple of versions of it with the same girl, maybe in a couple of similar situations, and have a laugh. If they were afraid to do that, another thing they could have done is a different kind of coming of age video where people turn 21 and they start drinking. Maybe there's a college girl who is always the designated driver who's driving her friends around when they go out, but she's never drinking when they're driving because she's the designated driver and she's not 21. But then it's her birthday. So on that night, she does get to drink and have fun with the rest of her friends, and another one of her friends who normally would drink does the driving, because that's what friends are for. There's a marketing idea. They could come up with better than that, but that would be better than trying to pretend that there isn't this 365 days of girlhood problem that they created, and to just ignore the public and not address where the frame is. The mindset of the customer is a really big mistake. So there's a picture of Alyssa Heinerscheid over the grave of Anheuser-Busch from 1876 to 2023 when she killed the company. It just keeps going on and on. This is another meme that's been going around for months now. And there are many, many responses. I mean, this is not just like a few people trolling them. This is Jesus Christ. My God, it's pretty bad. So if you're the Bud Light brand, you've got to be able to put out some kind of an ad. Oh my God, gerbil inside. I mean, this is pretty bad. I have seen some of these before, but some of these I haven't seen before, and they're pretty extreme. And it just goes on and on. There are people, of course, that troll people on Twitter, and they do a lot of this. So they don't really need any extra help from Bud Light to have any excuse to go and want to do this. Their sales are not improving. Their sales have now been down 30.3% for the week ended June 10th. It's 30.3% of volume, less beers and cans and bottles being distributed. It's 26.8% less revenue. And the revenue is better for them than the actual physical volume of beer. And the reason for that is they were able to raise their prices. A lot of companies are raising prices, and they got away with it. Another Alyssa Heinersheet post. My wife, dinner is in the fridge. Set the oven to 350 for 30 minutes to cook it. You can't possibly mess it up. Me, Alyssa Heinersheet, with hands up in the air. Yeah, they were the number one brand. They've lost the number one brand status for the last 4 weeks to Modelo Especial. They're going to lose it permanently now. Of course, because people aren't interested in being associated with this beer. There's nothing they can do if they're not going to at least acknowledge the stupid situation they got themselves into. It's one after another with these. This is just the hidden replies. Oh, Bud Light blocked them. This is just the hidden replies on this ad. It goes on and on and on. And some of them are really clever. Some of them are really funny. Some of them are pretty outrageous. People spend time making memes like this. We identify now as the queen of beers. And they do it as a hobby, and they do it for fun, and they do it for clicks. And there are a lot of people doing this. There are a lot of people that have the extra time to make fun of Bud Light, and they will continue doing it. So the only thing Bud Light can do is actually own the situation that they're in, make fun of themselves so that other people don't have to do that for them. And then, they've got to do marketing. This is the problem. I was talking about this in another video recently. Every time they try to promote the beer, they're going to get a response like this. So they have to own the situation that they're in. Otherwise, they're going to continue to have more and more negative responses. All they did was put out a summertime ad, and these are the responses they get. People are really not happy. Their brand is pretty much burned. So they're starting from zero here, drinking this beer, and these replies aren't the hidden replies. You can see they're a little bit less outrageous than the other ones. Well, let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Do you think that they can just do regular ads and pretend like the Dylan Mulvaney thing never happened, and then people will just associate good times with Bud Light again? I don't see how that's going to happen. What do you think of my idea? Do you think they could just do like a college girl coming of age, and now she doesn't have to be the designated driver anymore, and she can have fun, and her friend can help her out? And, why not do something that's a relatable, real story that still plays into the idea that they established that got them in trouble in the first place, at least until they get people to forget about Dylan Mulvaney, if that ever happens. The alternative, too, is, of course, more just pretty girls, good times, things that people can't take their eyes off of. And even though this ad is showing some good times, some summertime stuff, there's no sexy stuff. There's just a bunch of people pretending that they're really enjoying their Bud Light, where obviously they all got paid to do that. And even making the beer free, people are not willing to buy it right now. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Always appreciate you guys. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.